Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Here we go.
I'm checking out. I will respond to you, but I'm done for the week. I'm done.
Steve is my favorite part of the show. How's that?
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Check for sound.
Pleasure to be on there talking with Paulie, man. He's a good dude.
I'm an idiot. I'll just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac.
3, 2, 1, and
This is Orange Nation.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Stephen Fonte and Paulie Sibilia.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to have you with us alongside Paulie Sibilia. I'm Stephen Fonte. It's a Tuesday edition of Orange Nation. We'll be joined at 12:30 by Finn Thomson, senior attackman for the SU men's lacrosse team. And then coming up at 1 o'clock, we will talk NHL Final Four. The Final Four now set. Dan Duva, voice of the Vegas Golden Knights, will be on with us to talk all things hockey, former Crunch play-by-play man. We'll talk with him about the Game 7 last night involving the Sabres and Canadiens. And, of course, he's back to work tomorrow with the Western Conference Finals getting underway. Vegas against Colorado. Plus, we'll mix in your phone calls throughout at 315-437-7644. What's up, Paulie?
Not much. How'd you sleep last night, Steve?
I did okay. How did you do?
Did great. Padres won 1-0. Good night.
There was a lot going on last night.
Yeah, there was no hitters. There were Sabres losses. There was conference finals. There was the greatest rivalry in baseball history. So much to choose from.
I told you before the show, but when I happened to check the score, so I was flipping back and forth between the NHL Game 7 and the Spurs Thunder game. And I was checking scores, and I happened to see the scores of the Padres-Dodgers was 1-0 in the ninth. A's-Angels 1-0 in the ninth. No hitter in progress in that game. And I almost texted you at that moment and said, wow, our two favorite teams are both up 1-0. I held off, and I'm glad I did, because A's gave up the no-hitter and lost the game. A 2-run homer. But your Padres got it done.
Yeah, Mason Miller is gross. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, he got into some trouble and then worked his way out.
It was almost like he walked the two guys he thought could get a hit out of him and then just destroyed the 6, 7, 8 guys.
Yeah.
It was masterful.
Did you watch any other sports last night? Did you see Sabres? No, more heartbreak for Buffalo.
No, I saw some highlights. It's been on all morning of Wemby winning, and didn't watch much hockey last night.
Yeah. Sabres lost in overtime 3-2, fell behind 2-0 in the first. Tied it at 2, dominated the last two periods, had a goal disallowed on a quick whistle in the third, which that would have been the go-ahead goal / winning goal. It goes into overtime, and then they let up a soft goal in OT, and they lose, and their season is over. And immediately my son Luke called me last night and started yelling at me for why is he a Buffalo fan? It's my fault. And we had that conversation. And Wemby, we're looking on the screen here in our studio. Wemby's unguardable.
Like, is that a real thing?
What's that?
That you inherit your fandom? Because my dad's a Cowboys fan. My brothers are Chargers fans. I'm a Steelers fan. Like, nothing was ever forced on us.
Oh, I didn't force it. He was joking. Like, we were just joking about it.
I know, but it does seem that way, that you inherit your fandom.
Well, yeah, I think there's some truth to that, because those games are always going to be on in the house, right? Like, growing up, as you know, my grandma and grandpa lived in Buffalo. My uncle, my dad grew up in Buffalo. The Bills games were always on in our house. And then my kids had to deal with me on Sundays watching Bills games. Like, everybody just became Bills fans.
My dad was rooting for Roger Staubach, so I immediately said, I like Terry Bradshaw.
Well, so that's you, because you're, like, snarky and, like, you like to stir the pot. So you chose the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it goes one of two ways. It's either you inherit, who your family roots for, or you want to be annoying
my dad's
and you
a
go
Padres
against them.
fan, and I kind of like the Padres.
Oh, okay.
So
all right, so there's a little bit of both for you.
It's not. Yeah,
A little bit of both.
I jumped on the Steelers bandwagon as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody has different reasons for why they choose their fandom.
Like, everybody had Steelers gear in second grade, so I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, I get that. So anyway, more heartbreak for Buffalo fans. And again, we're watching highlights of Spurs Thunder from last night. That three that Wemby hit in transition, the 28-footer, he is legitimately unguardable. Like if he's making that shot, and Thunder didn't know what to do with him last night. They put Alex Caruso on him to try and stop him, just try to beat him up a little bit. But he did anything he wanted to. 41, 24, 3 blocks. We've got some stats here of what, just to put it in context for people. He joins Charles Barkley, Kareem, and Moses Malone as the only players in NBA history with 40 points, 20 rebounds in a conference finals game. He's the youngest player in NBA history to go 40 and 20 in any playoff game. He's 22 years old, 22 years and 134 days. He's the first player since Wilt in 1960 to log 40 points, 20 rebounds in his conference finals debut. Shaq is the only other player to go 40 and 20 in an NBA or in a conference finals game or an NBA finals game in the last 25 years. It just gives you an idea of what he's doing, putting it in context of other historical players. And I mean, that performance last night was just unreal.
Yeah. Florida guy says, Paulie, if you're from San Diego and such a Padres fan, why are you a Steelers fan, not a Chargers fan? I just told you. My brothers like the Chargers. My dad liked the Cowboys, so I went and liked the Steelers because the Steelers were dominant in the 70s when I was growing up. And I was a bandwagon fan, and I'm still.
Yeah. And you like to be different.
Yeah, and I'm also not embarrassed to say I was at one point a bandwagon fan, and I went to my first game ever was a Steelers game.
And you were hooked for life.
Yeah.
And now you're okay with mediocrity.
Yeah, mediocrity. That's right, Steve. Got 6.
I'm kidding.
You got 6 Super Bowls to catch up, buddy.
I know. I'm kidding. I was going back to our conversation from yesterday. We're like, Rodgers, he'll be fine. The Steelers will be fine.
Yeah, the Steelers will always be fine. I don't ever question them.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs again.
All right, so we didn't want to start with any of that. We wanted to start with college basketball. And I'm not sure if folks are paying attention to what Will Wade is doing down there in LSU or at LSU. But the latest news is that R.J. Lewis, the former St. John's star, has committed to LSU. 2025 Big East Player of the Year. He declared for the draft. He went undrafted. He signed a 2-way contract. Then he was traded. He is out of college eligibility. He's going to need a judge to, he's going to need to win a court battle in order to play. But we've seen this out of Will Wade and LSU. Just recently they agreed to a 5-year deal with Yam Madar, point guard from Israel, who is 20. He turns 26 in December. Lewis, I believe, is 25, going on 26.
He's trying to build like a veterans, like YMCA guys.
Right. Which got you to ask it, and I think it's a legitimate question. You said to me, would fans want this? Like, would fans want Will Wade to be in charge here? If you were an SU fan,
did.
Would you? Well, yes. But would you, seeing what he's doing, seeing how, the transfer portal kind of came and went?
I would go even back further. Like, they wanted him to come here when NC State got him. Is that the dude would you still want him over even, I know people say yes to Red, but would you want him over Red and Jerry? Like, he just packed up and left NC State, and now he's just out here hoping to, basically get a judge who
watches LSU basketball and says,
LSU
he can play.
fan, it will let him play. Would you want to be in that situation right now?
Well, right. And Grant from Ohio says there's a chance that he won't be eligible. correct. There's a chance he won't be eligible. If you are an SU fan, would you sign up for this, given all this uncertainty, given the fact that the transfer portal kind of came and went, and they had, one or two guys on the roster, and now, this kind of reeks of desperation in some ways. If he gets away with it, it might be, borderline brilliant to put together a team that's got, all pro players on it. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but just for you and me, it feels uncomfortable how they're going about doing this. For SU fans, what do they want?
Yes, we want him over Red.
I told you. I told you that.
So they take him over Red. He's now coaching LSU, right?
Yes, correct. Correct. He would have come here.
That's a dumb yes answer.
And he would be gone. He wouldn't be here right now.
Jerry would probably still be the coach.
I guess maybe the better question is, do you wish he was here? Do you wish he was here doing this?
Yeah, well, even if you did wish he was here when over Red, you would not have him anymore.
Yeah. Right. In reality, he wouldn't be here anymore because he would. We saw what happened at NC State. He took more money and went back to LSU. I don't know. It's Supercat says it feels sleazy. I'm with Supercat on that. Like I feel like it's this isn't college sports at all.
Yeah, it's definitely not Syracuse.
Yeah, right. It feels
maybe at one time.
It feels uncomfortable. Anymore. Yeah, no, it does. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like really this is how you're going about doing it, but. We'll see if it works. I mean, it's a different strategy. It's a bold strategy. There obviously, there's some risk involved with how he's going about doing this because those guys could be ruled ineligible. But it is, it's a choice, and I think most SU fans would feel uncomfortable with the choice. But I'm sure some wish he were here.
Ellie Orange says you don't know if he would leave us. Ifs and buts, music man. If he left NC State, he's leaving Syracuse. I mean, the money would be...
That's ridiculous.
That might be the dumbest take I've ever seen, Steve.
Well, I don't know about that.
I know, it's pretty close.
That's ridiculous. Of course, he would. If he was going to leave NC State, he would leave Syracuse.
Unless LA Orange was going to finance his NIL for him and give him the $5 million to sign players that aren't eligible anymore.
Yeah, because he would not be able to do what he's doing here. I mean, we know that. So, it might have been a 1 or 2 year experiment or a temporary landing spot for him. But, he's back down in SEC country and he's trying to build his roster with, 24, 25, 26-year-olds, which seems kind of odd. But, I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with it, but I'm sure that there are some fans that wish he were here and wish he were doing it, for Syracuse.
Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird game now. If they allow him to play, someone asked about Judah Mintz, and Judah Mintz could come back. Syracuse's roster is pretty much filled right now. Just waiting on the T's to get dotted and the I's to get crossed, Steve, it looks like.
One more addition.
Yeah, and then they'll be done.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think the Judah Mintz thing. I mean,
he might go play for Will Wade.
Yeah, for real, right? For real. He's got room and he's got money, so he's got opportunity and he can pay you. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I don't think Judah Mintz is going to end up in a Syracuse uniform. That is our opening drop, brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero and Burdick Toyota. We want to hear from you. I mean, what do you guys think about this Will Wade situation? 315-437-7644. Would you want him doing that here at Syracuse?
Yeah, someone says, I wish they would stop saying Syracuse has a 5-star in a list of 10 teams. He ain't ever coming to Syracuse because it requires several mil. They have the money to pay like several mil for a freshman to come here. It's just if he's good enough to put that much money on him and then build your roster around him, whether it's football or basketball.
Yeah. And I think, we saw
you want to be on that list.
Well, we saw that with Calvin Russell, right? I mean, that Calvin Russell wasn't cheap. And, unfortunately, the young man got hurt, and you hope that he stays here, and you hope that we actually get to see him play in a Syracuse football uniform. But, that was the case with him. They threw a lot of money at him and made it happen. And, like I said, hopefully we get to see what he's all about on the field. All right, we'll take our first time out. We've got Finn Thomson coming up at 12:30. We are back after this on ESPN Radio.
Catch Sunday Night Baseball every Sunday night at 6:30 on ESPN Radio Syracuse.
So you would rather have Syracuse
Summer
going out and
starts
signing
here
guys
at
that you
Burdick
don't.
Toyota in Cis-
You'd rather have guys that you don't know if are eligible to play right now on the roster over Syracuse's roster. That's serious to you? Yeah, they got busted and they stopped. That's what most people do. That's what smart people do. Every great team coach pushes the envelope of what is legal. Okay, so who's a great coach right now? Is Bill Self pushing the envelope of what's legal? Is Duke pushing it? This isn't pushing the envelope of what's legal. It's doing what's illegal and hoping a judge changes it to legal. I use body wash, and then we've discussed this. I have multiple washcloths, and I shower before bed and when I wake up because I sweat a lot at night. That's illegal loser talk. Okay, dork. I did keep Reds. You should know that. You know where I live. Creep. You probably smell my washcloths when I'm not home. I think it's my mattress topper that makes me sweat, Steve. Steve and I went for a walk today. Want to share that story? No? That we had a bro walk? I'm not crying. You should know. You're probably in my house right now sniffing my underwear. No, I think it's a sign of my mattress topper gets really freaking hot. Oh, Steve, I only have one pair of underwear. That is a sick burn from a guy who's creepy. Do you know I only have one pair of underwear? What a burn.
Uh, 5150 Hoops. Not a huge fan of leftover burgers. Because that's part of the problem. They're very dry.
Gaper, is that all you got? I wear one pair of underwear and that's what you got? Okay, creep. Kind of like the A's, Steve. I made it through the first inning, no hit ball.
They made it to the 9th, and then they lost the game.
Give me time to screw up my no-hitter, all right? Can we not celebrate my small victories? You sure point out my flaws every time they happen. This is called Digging in the Dirt. I needed just one more Peter Gabriel song, so I grabbed this one. Don't even know what it is. Digging in the Dirt. You used to do that as a kid.
I did. Yep.
Loved your rock collection.
I did.
Would you, how do you think how do you cover what Will Wade is doing as a sports radio host in Baton Rouge? Are you like, all right, let's go? Or are you like, this is gross?
I mean, if you're covering them, I think, you obviously give the credentials of these players, but you don't know if they're going to play. Like in the case of R.J. Lewis in particular, he signed a two-way contract, and when you sign a two-way contract, you're getting paid by the NBA team. And in the past, that has been immediate ineligibility in terms of you can never go back to college at that point. Now, times are changing and there's some gray area, and we know that, everything's getting tested in the courts. And so, maybe they find a judge that will rule in their favor, and then that, that precedent will be set in that manner. But the way it stands right now, I can't imagine, again, given what we've seen in the past, it seems pretty black and white. You sign a two-way contract, or if you play for an NBA team and you're getting paid by that NBA team, and in R.J. Lewis's case, he was, that is, your college eligibility has been exhausted. So, I think there is a chance that he will not be able to play. I'm not going to say there's no chance that he can play because everything's up in the air right now, but I think there's a pretty good chance that he won't be allowed to play.
Yeah, I tend to agree. He might get one judge like Alabama did. And then,
right. And then it goes to the next.
Someone with sense goes, no.
Yeah.
Or multiple judges will
goes to the next step and, goes a little bit higher in the system. And so we shall see. Now, in the case of the point guard, from Israel, his situation is a little bit different in that he served for the Israeli military. And so, the NCAA has some wording in there about, like, for instance, if you're a Mormon and you play at BYU and you go on your Mormon mission, that year won't count against you. There's some things in there about, military and religious observations and so on and so forth. So he might have a case. I don't think R.J. Lewis has a strong case at this very moment. But again, maybe they'll have a judge that rules in his favor.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. Like L.A. Rogers saying, well, they judge in money and players, and we don't. They don't have players that they can count on being there right now. They know for sure will play, and that's not a good place to be because if you lose,
it's a risky situation. Yeah. Which it's odd. You said, what would we be doing if we were covering Will Wade? For the last month, we would have been like, what's going on?
Yeah, and then we also would have a judge on right now asking them we'd have what's his face?
We had Bill Fitzpatrick on.
Asking what the odds of the judge.
But I believe it wasn't the first question out of your mouth to him about the ice cube.
Yes.
He's never coming on our show.
Would you eat an ice cube that fell on the floor? What's wrong with that?
To ask that question to Bill Fitzpatrick's a little bit odd, but he's
a dude just like the rest of us, Steve.
Okay. I can't remember what his answer was.
No, probably, because I'm a slob. I'm a slob, but that's why I don't get sick. So I eat ice cubes off the floor. I build up my immune system.
There you go.
It's just interesting how this is all played out. And someone blamed it on the media in our chat. And there are people that were adamantly for players getting paid without looking at the Jay Billis, for example, very much pushed for this, and now it's completely out of control. Like there is some truth to their talking heads push for this. They got it, and now there's nothing stopping it. It's lawless.
Yeah. I mean, it's gotten out of control. There's no debate to that. I do think NIL is a good thing in principle. And, if I show up for an autograph signing or I'm, on a commercial for a car dealership, I get it. Like those things, like if you're going to use my name, image, and likeness, I want to get paid. And you're putting in some work. This notion about pay for play, and I'll go to the highest bidder, and give me $5 million, and I'll come there. And it just, I don't know. It's when the players are making more than the coach, like that is professional sports. Like we see that right now in pro sports. It's now trickled down to college, and it's a mess at the moment.
Yeah, me no like. What do we got coming up next, Steve? Do you know Taste of Syracuse is coming back?
Yeah, love that event.
Fuel is going to be there. We'll have to make them artists of the day soon.
Okay.
Yeah, Taste of Syracuse it's rolling up quick. Lots of things rolling up quick. Weird Al's coming. I got tickets to Weird Al for me.
When's that?
June 10th. I'm looking forward to good Weird Al. You want to come with me?
I do like Weird Al. I did back in the day, but probably not.
Okay. Don't say I never asked you to do anything.
Now, if you got Eric B. and Rakim again, if we have that situation again, I would say yes. I don't know if Weird Al is...
Get Weird Al on the show. That, you know what? I'm going to write that down. Get Weird Al. If I can get Weird Al, I will do it.
That would be an award-winning interview.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best. I haven't booked a guest in a long time. I'll go Weird Al. Set myself high.
All right.
What concert would you go with me?
I said Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just thinking, like, I have that. I have Toto concert tickets, and I have Daniel Tosh. I'm not taking you to Daniel Tosh, though, because you will not like that.
I don't even know who that is.
He's a comedian, and you'd be like, this isn't funny. He should not be saying those things. You would be all red in the face and be like, nobody should say that out loud.
You know me so well. All right, let's hit a timeout here. We want to stay on time. We've got Finn Thomson set to join us on the other side. SU senior attacker. The Orange, of course, getting set to head back to the Final Four. They've got Notre Dame on Saturday in the semifinal round. We'll talk with Finn Thomson next on ESPN Radio.
LA Orange and Gaper, you guys are struggling today with your burns. Is that all you guys got? You guys are soft today. Why would Brian Higgins come on our show? Yeah, I'm never going to stop bickering with the guy who tried to give out my address like a scumbag. And now he acts like a kid who got caught and lies about it. No, I wasn't. Where? I'm not calling the cops on him. Why'd you say it, Gaper? Why did you say it? Why don't you just admit why you said it? I don't need comebacks. You are a absolute creep. Psycho. I'm obsessed you looked up my address. We could have Brian on. I literally could have Brian on. There's like nothing stopping us from, but I don't think he would want to come on. We could talk lacrosse with him. Is Jordan's job hiring financial packer has to be better than the fodder you accept? No, I do okay. Between here and Learfield, I make a good amount of money. I'm happy. Awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, you might know how much I make. You probably go through my mail, you weirdo. Yeah, Learfield. I engineer all the broadcasts for Learfield. Oh, that's a go. Well, I would kill Will Wade. I don't know him, so that's the easy one. The other two, toss up. I'll take either one. Oh, that'd be cool if Coach Boeheim gave me a noogie. You ever gotten a noogie, Steve?
Sure, of course.
Who gave you a noogie? Your sister?
Oh, I feel like it was, probably, I'm sure. Yeah. It was a common occurrence in grade school.
Yeah, if you're a play-by-play announcer, you're not going to make a lot of money. It's part-time unless you're really good at it. You have to go do like talk shows. You got to be like Steve and I, work multiple jobs. That's how you survive. Does Learfield have a poop? I don't know because I don't like work in their office. I could call and ask. I'm an independent contractor with them. I don't have fish tickets. Yeah, don't put yourself in the category of Steve and I, because we do what we wanted to do as kids. Yeah. Why would you want to do that? I'd rather be Gaper than sitting in a chat. I'm not in Steve's arena. I'm literally in Steve's arena. Yes, correct, Spadging Louise. Rolling into the second inning of my no-hitter, Steve. Really concentrated. I'm really
locked in today, I can tell.
Focusing at it. Games Without Frontiers. Peter Gabriel's our artist of the day. He hit number 1 on this day with a song called Sledgehammer. And I wish I had a sledgehammer and could just bash myself in the head with it sometimes talking to our listeners.
All right, without further ado, let's get to our first guest. If you happen to be watching us on QSportsTalk.com, you see Finn Thomson, SU lacrosse senior attackman. The Orange, of course, heading to the Final Four. They've got Notre Dame on Saturday in the national semis. Finn, thanks so much for the time. Congratulations on the run to this point. And I guess let's start right there. You know, Saturday's game, you're taking on a team that beat you, twice this year in North Carolina. Final Four on the line. And you guys dig deep and found a way to get it done there in that fourth quarter. What was that like for you and the fellow seniors to be able to qualify for a second straight Final Four?
Yeah, definitely pretty happy with it. Obviously, it's been a long 4 years, and we've kind of progressed every year. So to get back to where we were last year and bring Cuse back to its championship weekend pedigree is definitely pretty special. But at the end of the day, we're not done yet.
You know, Paulie and I were talking about this yesterday, Finn, that it felt like watching that fourth quarter that there was this kind of refuse to lose mentality. You know, Carolina comes back, ties it at 10, and then you guys immediately go on that 3-0 run. Spallina with 2 of them. You know, you had 1 of them during that run. Billy Dwan made a big play. Jimmy McCool made some saves. It seemed like that senior class was like, yeah, we're not losing this game. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, definitely. I think you're spot on. I think the whole season we played a tough schedule, so we're kind of prepared for what May brings us, and we're definitely going to be battle-tested at this time of year. We're going to keep fighting, and obviously all of us seniors know that it could be the last time stepping on the field, so we're not going to take that for granted, and we're going to do everything we can to win.
Along those lines, do you find yourself kind of soaking it up, maybe soaking it all in a little bit more than normal this week, knowing that, win or lose this Saturday/Monday, this is your last full week of practice with you and your best friends. And, do you find yourself trying to, smell the roses, for lack of a better term, at this point?
Yeah, I would definitely say you're trying to take it all in and not take any practices or time with your boys for granted. So, I would say definitely taking it all in. Extending this team and this season to the final week was our goal the whole year, all fall. So to get here is definitely something we're proud of, but we can't get fat and happy. And at the end of the day, we gotta lift up that trophy, and then we'll be satisfied.
You know, there was a phrase Joey Spallina used after the Carolina win, that he said you guys were a little fat and happy last year when you were at the Final Four, and that you didn't play your best, and maybe you were just happy to be there. It does seem like there's a different vibe around this team. Can you address that a little bit? It seems like this year's team maybe is a little bit more business-like, whereas last year's team, not that you weren't business-like last year, but you did seem happy to be there according to some of your teammates. This year it seems like you're on a mission.
Last year was the first time that we've gotten back to the Q standard, and this year it was more of a relief to get to the Final Four, and it was like an as expected thing for us. We should have been there sophomore year as well, so it's kind of just a testament to our hard work and never giving up. But definitely just taking it day by day, taking it shift by shift, game by game, really soaking it all in. And as you said, the senior class, my class, is really done a great job in making sure we go hard every week, making sure we reset after every win we get. And we haven't proved anything yet. And it starts with the top down, and our class has done a great job with that so far.
I'm sure you guys made some adjustments going into that third meeting with North Carolina. You're getting set to face another team that you saw, literally a month ago in the regular season finale against Notre Dame. What's it like playing for Pat March on the offensive side of the ball and kind of seeing the game plan that he unveils to you guys week in and week out?
Yeah, it's awesome. Honestly, it's pretty special what he does. He's a wizard with the X's and O's on the offensive side of the ball. He's definitely one of the greatest coaches I've ever had, and it's just great what he does with us. He kind of gives us I've said it so many times in these interviews, but he gives us the keys to just play free and have fun out there. So it really just takes the pressure off us a little bit, and just kind of lets us play a little bit out there and find each other, have fun, and we're at our best when we're moving the ball, having fun, and just playing free.
You guys were down 2 at the half to Yale. You come back and win that game. You were down 6-2 in the second quarter against North Carolina, and then went on that big 6-0 run that spilled over into the second half, won that game. And you mentioned it a little bit earlier, Finn, about the schedule that you've played. And, you guys have played on the road, and you've played on grass, and you've played on turf, and you've been in all types of different situations against, the best teams in the country. How much does that schedule truly help you this time of year, having gone through adversity, and then when you face that adversity, it seems like you guys are ready to deal with it?
Yeah, it definitely pays dividends. And also last year we had a bunch of nail biters. And at this time of year, experience definitely helps a lot. So being in that situation in the quarterfinals last year when it was an absolute shootout against Princeton, when we are 10-10 with UNC this weekend, we kind of fall back on our experience, fall back on our fundamentals, fall back on practice, and you got to rely on that stuff. And luckily we have a bunch of leaders to do that alongside myself, and we can kind of teach the younger guys how to not deal with the ebbs and flows of a game, but just relying on experience and relying on your practice, and ultimately trusting your teammates to get the job done.
There was a lot of fanfare when Joey Spallina set the all-time points record several weeks ago. It kind of flew under the radar that he just set the all-time assists record in program history, and he fittingly did it on a pass to you in the first half. What's it been like playing with him these 4 years, and the connection that the two of you have developed with one another? Yeah,
it's been awesome. He's a hell of a player, the best player in the country, definitely the best passer in the country, and he's just a great guy on and off the field. We've definitely created a better relationship off the field as we've been roommates the past couple of years. So we've definitely spent a lot of time together. But yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great player. He's always talking lacrosse. He loves the game, and as do I. So we always definitely get along with that stuff, and we can always talk lacrosse. But on the field, he's a great player, and he definitely passed the assist record last week, and I'm definitely grateful to have him passing me the ball behind X or wherever he's at, because he's a great player, great feeder. But yeah, it's been pretty special over the past 4 years to see what he's done, and it's definitely a good feat for him.
As good as you guys have been on offense, Gary Gait going into the NCAA tournament spoke about two players in particular that were going to be X factors during this run if there was going to be a run, and that was Jimmy McCool in net and John Mullen at the faceoff X. Can you talk about how they have played and how they have elevated their games throughout the postseason here, and how that has helped you guys elevate your play, I guess, overall as a team?
Yeah, I think you got to beat beat the team that you're playing in every aspect of the field, offense, defense, and then face-off and goalie. Those guys have been unreal for us all year, and our team really we kind of know that it's Game 7 in the playoffs, so you kind of got to go balls to the wall. We got a lot of hockey guys in this room as well, so we understand that you got to sell out for the guy next to you, and when playoff ball comes around, you got to do your job. You got to do your job. We had Rourke Denver come talk to us and just say, do your job, and that's all you got to worry about. Don't do anything crazy. Just do your job, and those guys are definitely doing their job, and we trust them, we love them, and we know that they're going to keep doing their thing.
You guys beat Notre Dame twice last year. You lost, I was going to say in a close game in the regular season finale. It was close until the very end. It kind of got away from you at the very end. But you're very familiar with this opponent. You know that you guys can go toe-to-toe with them. As you're getting ready, and I don't need you to share any secrets. I know that there's a game plan that you're putting together. But when you look at this particular opponent, what stands out to you, I guess, about the Irish as you get ready to face them for a second time this season?
Yeah, they're a great team. Obviously, they won back-to-back champs. Back-to-back ships a couple of years ago. So they got the experience, and they're also very well coached. They got a great defense, a great goalie. But we just got to focus on the little things, because against these guys, against good teams, everyone's good at this time of year. So you got to focus on the little things, the ride, the clears. These guys definitely harp on that stuff, and they focus on the little things a lot. So we kind of got to take the in-between-the-line stuff very seriously, focus up. No turnovers, no bad mistakes in the middle of the field, and everything will take care of itself. But yeah, they're a great team, very well coached, and they got the experience as well. So
you mentioned they've got a really good defense. They have, arguably, and I'm not sure there's much of an argument, arguably the best defensive player in the country. Do you as an offense put a little bit more pressure on yourselves, knowing that whoever he's on, if he takes out Joey Spallina, everybody else has got to step up? Do you embrace that challenge going into a game like this?
Yeah, every team's got great poles, every team's got great goalies. They might have the best D guy in the country, but we got the best O guy in the country. So we're not really worried about that. He's definitely a great player, and we're gonna play our ball, and it doesn't really matter who we're playing. We're just gonna do our thing, and it doesn't really matter who's in the other locker room.
You talked about experience a moment ago, Finn. Is there anything in particular that stands out to you from last year's Final Four experience, and playing Maryland and losing that game and on that stage? Is there anything that you can share with us that you took with you from that game last year?
Yeah, for sure. I'd definitely say just the atmosphere in general, it's something special. There's a lot of people, and it's very loud. Last year we played at Gillette. This year's in Charlottesville, so it's a little different. But the amount of people, the noise, it's definitely a big build-up for the actual games. And last year I feel like we were a bit shocked, and this year we're definitely ready for it. But yeah, just you got to rely on practice, rely on your season, and just always fall back on those fundamentals, even when the stage is brighter.
There was a lot made of the playing surface last week, and I see the question just popped up in our chat here at QSportsTalk.com about playing on grass. Do you guys have any concerns at all about the playing surface going into this weekend?
I would say it's grass. That's the only difference, really. This weekend the turf was kind of slippery, so we're thinking this turf is going to be this grass is going to be a little bit better. But we've played on grass a couple times this year. It's not that much different, and we're a great team when we're on grass. We're running downhill, and the ball does the work for us. So we're not too worried about that stuff.
Last one from me, Finn, and I know that you're getting ready for the Final Four, and you're laser focused on the opponent and the next game and that sort of thing. Have you allowed yourself to take a step back, during this last month or the last few weeks? And can you appreciate in the moment, I guess, what the last 4 years have been like for you and being a captain of this storied program and what that has meant to you? Or is that something that you won't really appreciate until, the next week is over?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's definitely tough to take a step back and think about that stuff when you're in the midst of it all. But yeah, I definitely would say I've had some conversations with some teammates, some younger guys, and just like the experience that they've had compared to us. They've came in, for example, I was talking to Peyton Anderson yesterday, and we were talking about how he came in as a freshman and they got to experience the Final Four. Then sophomore year, he gets to experience his Final Four as well. And he was just saying how grateful he was to be a part of this team and a part of our class. And it speaks volumes to how close we are on this team. But yeah, I mean, as you were saying, it's definitely pretty cool to feel as if we've accomplished some growth within this program and we've left it better than we found it. But our goal all 4 years has been to get that Natty championship. So that's our goal. But it's definitely hard to take a step back. But I would say I'm doing a pretty good job of trying to find a healthy medium there. And but yeah, it's definitely a pretty special place, and I'm definitely pretty excited that we brought it back to where this program should be. But it's definitely hard to take your laser focus off the game and just wanting to win that championship with your boys.
Yeah, well, you guys have taken great strides getting back to back-to-back Final Fours. 2 wins away from that ultimate goal, Finn. Go get it done this weekend. We'll all be rooting for you. Thanks so much for coming on. Best of luck to you and your teammates.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Finn Thomson, senior attacker on the SU men's lacrosse team, Paulie.
Good job, Steve.
All right, with that, we'll take a timeout. 315-437-7644. We will wrap up hour number 1 on the other side. We'll check in on the market, and then we'll get to Dan Duver. We're going to talk some NHL hockey. Final Four now set for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
I don't know, Gaper, why don't you use your FBI skills that you have to find out how I'm paid and why I'm paid? Yeah, the way you ask the questions about the turf, amazing. Amazing job, Steve. Best in the biz. I'm not even in your arena. Not on the same level as you. Just say that to me from now. Get on my level, Paul.
Ryan Mullen, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
My arms look jacked. I like that.
And I would wear that shirt. I think it looks good on me. Well done.
I have to use the little voice. Oh, I have a small Steve is not the Karate Kid. If he tried to do the crane kick, he'd end up in the hospital. Just standing there, like, for pose. Does Steve look dignified in shorts? I don't know. I don't. I have chicken legs. You guys didn't know Tom McCann shoes yesterday? That's interesting. There was, I believe, in Fairmount Fair, there was one. There was.
Yes, Michael Antonio, I golf. I was on the golf team in high school. I don't golf a lot anymore, but
can't swing a driver.
I don't swing a driver currently. Who we got?
Your mom. Scooter. Scooter's going to give us a breakdown on the... He's going to wait till after the top of the hour. Oh, we got
no,
guess.
we got guess, yeah.
Artist of the Day, Peter Gabriel. This one's called Red Rain, Steve. Remember when I asked you to be my co-host? And I stood outside your house and held up the boombox and played In Your Eyes for you?
You asked me to be...
Stop. No, we don't need facts here. Now that would be a funny one. Like Ryan Mullen makes pictures of us. Like,
yeah, he does.
Photoshop.
His latest one's good. It's very good.
Like me in your driveway. I mean, we can get a listener to find out where your driveway is. And I could put me in the picture holding the boombox for you. Let's go to Mike.
Yes, let's check it on the market. Mike over at Lee Baldwin. Mike, what's going on?
Hi, guys. A little bit lower today across the board. The theme is higher interest rates continue to spook the market a little bit, causing a minor correction. So we're seeing the Dow's only down about 130 points, which is a little over 0.25%. NASDAQ's a little weaker, down about 0.7%. Part of that, like I said, is because interest rates are moving higher. It makes things more expensive to buy homes, cars, that kind of thing. Our diamond, though, we're going to go with Home Depot. They reported earnings this morning. The stock's up about 1% or $3 to $303 a share. So Home Depot kind of gets caught in the middle because when people aren't buying homes, they tend to repair their homes, so they make up for it there. But lower interest rates would help everyone across the board. And a dog, speaking of high interest rates, is Lennar. The home builder made a new 52-week low today, and that is because of higher rates, and we're starting to see a slowdown. So Wall Street's keeping a close eye on interest rates, and hopefully they can kind of stabilize in here and start working downwards again as the year goes on. And there you have it today, guys.
All right, Mike, we appreciate the time as always. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you as well. All the diamonds, none of the dogs. Be sure to visit LeeBaldwin.com.
Yesterday's was Tom McCann, and people don't remember a Tom McCann shoe store. There was one in Fairmount Fair. I believe it was across from Woolworths.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll believe you.
Today is Miller's Outpost. Don't know if they were on the East Coast, but it was a Western-based Levi's and jean sales place. I think there's one in Utica, or was one, but they no longer exist. Miller's Outpost was formed in 1972.
Okay, thank you.
The original one was in Pomona, California. There you go.
All
Miller's
right, let's get to a phone call.
Can't wait.
Scooter in Jamesville, closing out the first hour. Scooter, what's up?
Couple tidbits. Tom McCann, they sold these wingtip shoes if he dressed up, and they guarantee as long as the sole wasn't worn out, they actually replaced the shoe. So that was pretty cool. Weird Al Yankovic, Dan Rather used to have a thing called The Big Interview on Access TV. I know they still do, so he had an hour with Weird Al, and it was perfect timing for Weird Al because he was in the videos when MTV was still a video DJ, and he had an inventory, so they ran a lot of the stuff because the other bands had to catch up with their videos. So it came to a perfect spot for Weird Al to get a lot of publicity, so it worked out pretty good for him.
Did you know that he wanted to do a song called Chicken Pot Pie instead of Live and, to parody Live and Let Die? But Paul McCartney is a vegetarian and wouldn't let him do it.
That'd be a good question to ask him, Paulie. Which people do you think are okay to do a parody? I know people thought it was an honor. Michael Jackson loved.
Paul McCartney said he could do it. He just didn't want it to be an animal.
He could do it.
Yeah.
But you guys are talking about whatever's going on. It's not just basketball; it's football too. The NIL, okay? That's absolutely. Oh, by the way, obsolete. They did an outdated movie on yesterday, Blue Chips. It was incredible because what they talked about was you get away with it now. I mean, that's just outdated. I didn't realize Boeheim actually had a talking part. I think his royalties go up if they at least have one line of movies when they replay it.
Yeah, he once told me he gets random checks for that, and they used his likeness in a video game once, and he said he gets like random checks for like $1.25 every once in a while.
Yeah, it's just funny because I didn't realize he had like a one-liner when he was I guess in Chicago. It'd be interesting to see if they actually went on location. But the thing is, the NIL was supposed to be what you said. To use your likeness or for advertising, you got paid, and obviously that must be obsolete because now you just get paid to come to your college. And I laughed at Cup. One thing you mentioned, this is his fourth school, right? And he's going 4 for 4, and so I'm sure he's going for the education part of it. But
it's his 5th year in college because he was here for 2 years, so he was at Kansas. But he gets the Kansas year back because of injury. So this is his last year of eligibility. Yeah.
But there's one thing I've talked to people, and I'm kind of surprised because I've had this attitude since they started this. Is if you're going to transfer all this time, I know how you call them student athletes. If you want to say colleges are now just sponsoring teams, so be it. But a lot of people I've talked to had the same attitude. If you're going to transfer every year, it's not about education. And Paul, you're actually correct. And I mentioned too about transferring credits. I don't know how they get their credits in because I know people that were straight A students in schools that they transferred in didn't accept all their credits, and so I don't know how they get their credits in. And so to me, it's a mockery. If we're going to call it college, just say what it is. These colleges are sponsoring teams. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a good question. I would love to see, and I don't know if we'll get to this day, but I would love to see where they bring in the one-time transfer. You can transfer once without having to sit out. If you transfer twice before you graduate, you would have to sit out a year. I would be a strong proponent of that.
Yeah, I agree. Gabriel Brazingoid in our chat says, I love how Steve went to tell how Paulie actually became the sidekick on the show, and Paul immediately went, whoa, stop. We don't need facts, LO. If only the chat knew the story how Paul fell into this. Steve, that is a lot. Do you want me to tell the story of how this happened?
Sure.
Okay, so I was here when ESPN Radio started 15, 16 years ago, and I was on a show. And I'm the program director and operations manager of all of the sports marketing here at Galaxy. I then left when you came along, I believe, and I went over and did the morning show on K-Rock for a while. Multiple hosts left, and then it came open again, and there's a newspaper article on it. So if anybody actually wanted to look and see if this is true, someone left, and I was to fill in until we found somebody, but I'm so good at my job that I stayed.
It worked.
It did. And we've won multiple awards since.
Yeah.
I just fell into this job that I've had.
Nobody could stand working with me. Everybody kept leaving.
Yeah, and I like you.
Yeah, you put up with me, and here we are all this time later.
I couldn't share that because I was cracking a joke that I actually didn't stand in your driveway, Steve, and hold up a boombox with In Your Eyes playing. But some of us aren't smart enough to get jokes.
All right, let's stay on time here. We've got Dan Duva set to join us on the other side as we talk.
Well, that's a good question. What was more recent, your last show award or SU making the tournament?
Our last show award.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like Well, you have them right there. I mean, it was
2022 was our last one.
Yeah, so we're okay.
We're better than that.
We're okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll end the drought this year.
We will end the drought this year.
All right, let's hit a break here. Dan Duva joins us on the other side. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
So, Gaper, there you go. I wasn't hiding the facts. I mean, if anybody knows the facts, you should be able to find them there, creep. That's why there's a joke of me saying vast responsibilities, because it was in the newspaper article. El Creepo, yes. Not you, but yeah, I guess it works for you too. Yeah, it is kind of weird that you know my address. You shouldn't have gave me ammo. Dude, you shouldn't have ever looked up my address, you weirdo. I like how you're turning this on me that you're a psychopath. If I were you, I'd delete my account and come back under a different name. That's just me, though, because... Okay, you didn't know. Yeah, you're... Okay. You just naturally picked that number. Dude, you're lying. You're like a teenager who gets caught lying. I didn't lie. Yeah, I'm never going to stop making fun of you for doing that. I don't need you to pay for... Why don't you just drive to my house and buy it? Weirdo. Gonna ask about this? Oh, I have sloped shoulders? Okay. I'm sorry, sorry, that's all you got on me, buddy. You should call your name Gazer, because you gaze in my windows. Steve and I can do different things, Patch and Louise. We don't have to have the same hobbies. Are you surprised because you went through my mail and saw my pay stubs? Old slope shoulders, Steve. I have slope shoulders. What a horrible life and existence I have. Gabriel's coming to my window like Melissa Etheridge. Yeah, I would do a hard reset on my social media or on my name. Yeah, every breath you take. Yeah, hopefully you're not like the president of Selena's fan club. number 2, Steve. Kind of just blew the no-hitter. I didn't have the mics on when I started talking.
Nobody knew that, though.
Yeah, I'm not a lying sneak. I just gave up an infield hit. My no-hitter's over.
I was going to let it go. I wasn't going to call you out on it.
No, I'll do it.
Okay, let's...
Do you know, our next guest used to have a show on this station.
That's right.
Called In the Booth. He was a big fan of my ability to pick good bump music. That's my... You know how you say Jim Boeheim, my claim to fame with Jim Boeheim is I'm never late?
Yeah, always on time, he said.
Dan Duva's one comment to me is... Yeah, or compliment to me is he picks good bump music.
Well, you do. You do. Dan's right. Dan Duva joining us now. Dan, what's going on? It's been a while.
It's especially good when I tell him which songs to pick.
Yeah, there you go. You left that part out, Paulie.
I will hear songs randomly in the wild, and I'll think, oh yeah, Paulie picked that for the show. Or that was on the Crunch broadcast. Or that was in the open for one of the shows. It's true. I jest, but it is among Paulie's many, many talents. But I also missed Paulie when Syracuse basketball was in Las Vegas, and I forgot that traveling west of the Mississippi by car is not realistic. So we missed you out here back in November, Paulie.
I did make the football trip, but the Padres were in the playoffs, so I didn't really spend much time in Las Vegas. I just drove a little extra.
He did say the other day, Dan, on this show that if the Padres make it to the World Series, he would get on a plane, right?
Yes.
You said that. He said he would get on the plane. Yeah, for the Padres. Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
I would be a new version.
We are having a baseball team. It could be the Vegas A's and the San Diego Padres in the World Series in like 2030, and who knows? And then you could come right here to Las Vegas.
There you go. It could happen,
yeah.
Paulie.
It could, and I could be a version in Alanis Morissette song also.
That's true. That is true. All right, Dan, let's talk some hockey here. We're going to get into your Vegas Golden Knights here in a moment, but we've got to start with the Sabres and heartbreak for Buffalo last night. I mean, I'm sure you watched the Game 7 between the Sabres and Canadiens. What did that come down to in your mind? Just a fluky goal that after Buffalo really dominated the last 2 periods of that game.
Oh, geez. I mean, I don't have to express the heartbreak that I'm sure many Sabres fans listening to us now are still feeling, and will probably be feeling for weeks to come. It stings, especially after what was a magical season. It was a different circumstance, of course, but in 2018 when the Golden Knights got to the Stanley Cup final and then lost 4 in a row for the first time all year after a magical expansion season, there is that sting, what could have been. There was so much upside. The series started so great, and then after, a week or two, you start like, wow, that was an incredible season. And then you start to look forward and okay, things are in good shape here. We're on the upswing. And at least in Vegas's case, they continued to have success and won the Cup a few years later. And, it is amazing how the Sabres just flipped the switch. It has happened in other places, happened to the Blues, of course, in 2019, et cetera, where just something clicks and everything comes together. And no matter what the difficulties had been, and we know all about them in Buffalo, it's fantastic for Buffalo, but I really think it's fantastic for hockey. I mean, we know that some of the best local ratings in hockey broadcasting are in Western New York, and that's fantastic. I of course root for Alex Tuck, our Syracuse friend and former Golden Knight. I similarly flash back to 2018. Perhaps the moment in that Stanley Cup final was Braden Holtby making an incredible save with his stick on Alex Tuck. And I'm flashing back to that moment when I see Alex has had chances but still no points in the series. And, that's, I'm sure, going to stick with him through the offseason and obviously in the salary negotiations.
Yeah. Oh, man, they had chances. He had a lot of chances. They as a team had a lot of chances. The goal that was waved off midway through the third, what do you make of that? It seemed like, I guess, by rule, it was the right call. Whistle blew, and the way that it all transpired, it's just unfortunate because it seemed like, at least, maybe this is us talking from a Sabres perspective, but it seemed like that whistle blew a little bit too quickly.
I think that's fair. We had Wes McCauley in a game in the last series. They moved the officials around every game, and I understand that I understand the reasons for that. There are also reasons against that. It's a little bit funky, so you could have games take on a very different life based on how the games are officiated. And the bottom line is, we had the game. Wes McCauley did the game where Braden McNabb was given the 5-minute major game misconduct and ultimately suspended the game. By the way, the Knights were not given another penalty the entire game after that was called against McNabb. And to make a long story short, the officials in that game just let a lot of stuff go. And the veteran officials who've been around a long time tend to be a little bit cavalier where they decide to take matters into their own hands a little bit. And, sometimes you feel like when you've been around a long time, you can do things like that. And so sometimes I think cavalier is the word that comes back to my mind again, where, you have to officiate the game the way you're supposed to. And not to take matters into your own hands. So the whistle blows a little bit quickly. You're not supposed to anticipate. You're really supposed to wait for the play to end, and the referee loses sight of the puck. But that doesn't mean, the whistle blows right away. Clearly, the puck was not secured. In the end, they had to take it off the board because the whistle did blow.
Right.
Should the whistle have blown as quickly as it did? Wes McCauley would tell you he made the right call, but I'm not 100% sure that would be right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, well, in any event, the Final Four is now set, right? It's Carolina and Montreal in the East. It's Vegas and Colorado out West, and your series gets underway tomorrow. What has impressed you the most, Dan, with how Vegas has played so far throughout the season and really throughout this postseason run?
Yeah, it's been a remarkable flipping of the switch in Vegas, too, where, they've had a very good team and won the Pacific Division in the end. But things really turned for the better after the coaching change. Bruce Cassidy was let go with 8 games left in the season, and I was a kid in New Jersey when the Devils fired Robbie Ftork with 8 games left in the season back in 2000, and the Devils were first place in the East at the time and went on to win the 2000 Stanley Cup. Well, the Golden Knights are trying to do something similar here, and, they have won a lot of games, and I think that they've looked a lot like the team that they expected to be. Why were they not under Bruce Cassidy? Bruce would tell you that he himself is not a cheerleader. He's a very smart coach. He can be demanding. He's extremely smart, very good X's and O's coach, but he can sometimes wear guys out. And I think that John Tortorella very much is a cheerleader, and he can stir things up in the media, of course, but he's direct with the players, and they needed someone who would be just as eager to pat them on the back and cheer them on after something good as he might be to critique a play after they screwed up. So I think that's been a big boost. The other thing is Carter Hart. Carter Hart, who, of course, joined the Golden Knights in December. He got hurt in early January, missed a few months. His return from injury coincides with John Tortorella taking over, and Carter Hart's been the guy. Knights said, I'll just give you 2 numbers. The save percentage for the Golden Knights this year was .876. They never in team history were under 900. This year they were .876. Bad goaltending, right? Until Carter Hart down the stretch and now here into the playoffs. The other number, the Golden Knights spent more minutes trailing during the regular season than any team in the league except for Vancouver, who was dead last by far, right? So those are 2 numbers that kind of give you the regular season and the big picture. Again, coming from behind is just, you can't do that every night. It's just too much of a tax on the star players, et cetera, and that's what was happening. The Golden Knights would give up an early goal, they'd be trailing, and then the top guys would be overtaxed, and they'd be in trouble. That's changed now. They've got confidence with the head coach. They've got a goalie who's been fantastic, and, here they are again, 5 times in the 3rd round in 9 seasons.
Yeah, remarkable. And when you look back to, like, that 2023 team, for instance, how does this Vegas team compare to that one?
That year, it was Bruce Cassidy's first year as head coach, and he had met with Jack Eichel over the course of that summer. Jack, of course, the trade had happened in the previous fall of 21. Jack, of course, didn't get healthy until the winter time after the surgery. Knights were in first place, and they went at the All-Star break. They went 500 down the stretch, missed the playoffs. Then they fired Pete DeBoer, hired Bruce Cassidy. Bruce decides he and Jack Eichel are going to be tied together at the hip, and decides he's going to transform Jack Eichel into this 200-foot player. And Jack very much has become that. And over the course of that season, the 22-23 season, of course, he's fantastically talented offensively, but he becomes a superstar and a 200-foot player. Now that is here we are a few years later. That has happened in other places where Shea Theodore has had this transformation, where he's developed not only his offensive abilities, but he's playing more minutes because Alex Pietrangelo is no longer on the team, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then throw Mitch Marner into the equation. So you've got these high-end players at very important positions who are coming into their own in a way that is reminiscent of 2023. And you've got enough support players to deadline acquisitions like Nick Dowd from the Washington Capitals this year. Back then it was Ivan Barbashev from the St. Louis Blues. So the ingredients are there, and you got to have a hot goalie at the same time as well. So yeah, and then I also mentioned a new coach too. It was Bruce Cassidy's first year, and here's John Tortorella's first couple of months with the Golden Knights. The similarities are there, but they didn't have to deal with the Colorado Avalanche, who were the President's Trophy winners this season.
And that's right where I was going next. Tell us about the Colorado Avalanche and what stands out to you about them.
Yeah, well, they won the President's Trophy in 2021. That was the short season, the 56-game season. But people forget that the Golden Knights and the Avalanche tied for the best record in the NHL that year. And by tiebreaker, the Avalanche got the President's Trophy. And we all know that the President's Trophy success rate is not good for the Stanley Cup Championship. And the Golden Knights knocked out the Avalanche during the 2021 playoffs. And then Vegas lost, weirdly, to Montreal in the third round. Anyway, I bring that up because that's the only other time that the Knights and Avalanche have met in the postseason. And in 2021, that was the year before the Avalanche did go on to win the Stanley Cup, and then 2 years after the Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup. So this is the sort of a rematch, but things have changed. Each team has won a championship since they last met in the postseason. These are two of the most successful teams in the Western Conference. The Oilers have been to the finals the last 2 years, but they didn't win it. The Golden Knights and the Avalanche, obviously, the last couple of Western Conference teams that have won it. And so there's some bragging rights out here. There has been a rivalry that's been built up, and the Golden Knights have, John Tortorella has a 2-0 record when facing President's Trophy winners in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Of course, with Columbus a few years ago against the Tampa Bay Lightning, swept them in the first round, and all the way back in 2004, his Tampa Bay Lightning beat out Detroit, who was the President's Trophy winner that year, en route to winning the Stanley Cup. Colorado's a high-end team. Nathan McKinnon and, leads the way. Cale Makar as well. They are beaten up. They do have some injured players or guys who are not 100% right now. They've had to go to their other goaltender, Scott Wedgwood and Mackenzie Blackwood. Both played in the second-round series. So they've had time to rest, though. They've only played 9 games, right? They're 8-1 to start the playoffs. Knights have had 6-game series, so they've played 12 games. But there's plenty of time between series. We'll see there's injured players on both sides, but clearly Colorado is among the NHL's best President's Trophy winners, so I think would be the favorite, not only in this series, but also should they reach the Stanley Cup final. But the Golden Knights are 1-0 against them since John Tortorella took over. Very exciting late overtime game late in the regular season.
As for the finals in the East, you talk about rest versus rust. You've got Carolina, it's been an 11-day break, I guess, for the Hurricanes, longest in NHL playoff history. How much does that factor in? The fact that Montreal, yes, they were, they went 7 games and it was a grueling series for them, but, Carolina's been kind of cooling their heels for the last week and a half. How much does that play into, especially games 1 and 2?
It's a great question. Montreal's had a couple of 7-round series and, 7-game series in the first round and the second round. And it's been the opposite for Carolina, where they've swept both of their 2 series. It's a great question. And I wonder, does it impact the first game of the series? Colorado had swept its first round. And in the first game against Minnesota in the second round, it was a 9-6 win for Colorado. It was just a crazy game. It's almost like you don't know what to expect. It ended up being a crazy back-and-forth game with 15 goals. Is something similar going to happen in the Montreal series against Carolina? I'm not sure it's going to be 9-6. But as the teams settle in, Carolina has been to this point several times before, but they never have found success in the third round under the current regime with Rob Brind'Amour. And it's hard to explain why. Clearly, they're confident that this year is going to be different, but the Canadians seem to find ways. They did it against the Lightning and obviously just did it against the Sabres. So, it would take some time to get the timing back. Just as an example, look at how teams play right after the Olympic break or even after, the Four Nations break last year. Like the timing's off. Guys talk about how it takes a couple of periods, maybe a game to really get the timing back, but that probably only affects game one. I think that Montreal, if it's going to steal a game early in Raleigh, like you got to win game one and catch the Hurricanes while they're perhaps not quite in sync, and then see what they can do in a longer series. And do the Canadians have enough depth that they can withstand a longer series? Whereas Freddie Anderson, the goalie, he's an older guy, right? He's been around a long time. He's been great. He seems to dial it in when he needs to for Carolina, but he has not faced adversity yet in the playoffs. There are a couple overtime games against the Flyers, but really that team has not faced adversity yet. You'd imagine that Montreal is going to provide at least some of that.
All right, just lastly, Dan, obviously, as you mentioned, Carolina is going to be the favorite in the East. You mentioned Colorado's the favorite out West. I'm not going to ask you to make a prediction out West because you're going to be calling the games, but what do you think that series ultimately comes down to between the Avs and the Golden Knights?
I think that health is a big part of it. I mentioned it a moment ago that, Vegas is without Mark Stone because of injury. I'm not sure what his availability might be as the series goes along, but he has not practiced since he exited the series in the second round. There are a couple guys who are banged up for the Avalanche, too. Kel McCarr is clearly not 100%. Not sure, is he getting better, or is he kind of, this is what he's going to be? So I think that's part of it. And, the Knights, I mentioned this earlier with respect to, Jack Eichel becoming a 200-foot player. The Knights have found something in their second line with William Karlsson centering Mitch Marner and Brett Howden. And we remember Brett Howden made his professional debut with the Syracuse Crunch many years ago, first-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And, Marner has the most points in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and he has 4 shorthanded assists, and Brett Howden has scored 3 of those shorthanded goals, tying an NHL playoff record. So they found something there, and sure, they put up points, but to me, it's often canceling out other team star players. And I think that Jack Eichel is the number 1 center, and William Karlsson is the number 2 center. They not only are capable of putting up points on their lines, but they're so sound defensively, and I wonder if the Avalanche can handle that. The Knights have played 3. This will be the third opponent, obviously. Utah, Anaheim, Colorado. Each of those 3 teams plays somewhat similarly, but each version is better than the previous one. Anaheim plays the same as Utah. They're just better. Colorado plays similar to Anaheim. They're just better, older, and experienced. So it'll be a bigger challenge. But I think it's so often how you manage to shut down the other team's stars, and the Knights have done that very well in the playoffs so far.
All right. Well, we can't wait to see how it all plays out. It was really great hearing your voice again, Dan, and catching up with you. Thanks so much for the time today. Keep up the good work out there, and hopefully we'll talk some hockey with you again soon.
My pleasure, guys. Good to be with you, and best wishes to everyone back there, and also good luck to the Syracuse lacrosse team, following them from afar.
That's right. Going to the Final Four this weekend. We miss you, Dan. Thanks for coming on.
Sure thing, guys. Bye-bye.
Dan Duva joining us here on the program. And with that, we'll hit a timeout. Phone lines open the rest of the way. 315-437-7644. We are back after this on ESPN Radio.
Great job, Steve. Freezing in here right now. And it's 82 out. Thin clouds. It was just for you, Matt from Auburn. I'm sorry I argue with the Twitch chat at 35K Will. Would you rather us just sit here and have commercials play? Because I'll go back to old school radio if you want.
When's Taste of Syracuse?
I don't know. I do. I don't have. Yeah. Then my whole purpose here goes poof. No, I would do the show still, Gaper. I would still have my job if the chat went away. The chat didn't, I don't think the chat existed when I got this job. So my job would not be poof. Was Q Sports Talk? Yeah. Maybe it was. Who cares?
I don't remember.
But either way, I'd still be here. No, it'd probably be same as it is. No, nothing would change, Gaper. I just wouldn't talk during breaks. You're wrong. No, you're still wrong. I asked you about the homeless guy. You don't have to answer this. There's a homeless guy who brings props every day, and he's got a different prop every day to get, like, the other day he had a dead bird in a bag, and he was like, I'm just trying to clean up the dead birds. It was really weird. And I'm like,
A lot of dead birds?
I don't know. I don't know where he got that. It could have been a fake dead bird. But I was like, that's how you get hantavirus or something. Picking up dead birds. Stinky bird. I mean, it is weird that you don't see a lot of dead birds, right? You think they would just drop out of you once in your life see a bird drop out of the sky, right? Where do they all go?
Well, they're about to die.
Someone spilled Chinese food out front of my apartment, and it was like chicken and noodles of some sort, and I came out this morning and all the chicken was gone, but the noodles were still there. So the wildlife in the city is carnivorous. Well, I give up my second hit of the show there. Big time.
I was going to say, I think that was a double. Now it's a triple because you didn't turn my mic on initially.
No,
I think.
it's back-to-back hits.
A rare triple.
Run scored. They're starting to warm up.
Yeah.
Pitcher in the bullpen.
Tronic in our chat is complaining like you do, Steve. Like, he's like, Peter Gabriel's got so many bangers, dude. You're just playing the ones everybody knows. Yeah,
I do know
that's
this
the
song.
point.
Yeah.
That's the point of what I do. I'm here to give you the popular stuff.
You don't always do that, though.
I'm not going to give the deep cuts. I'm not going to play the ones that I played the biggest Billboard chart songs. Every artist. You and Tronic can go cry together.
I like it better.
Go hold each other.
You used to use your intuition putting together the list.
I've never done that.
No, I think you have.
I don't have intuition, Steve. You're lying.
I feel like early on,
even you do.
Early on with Artists of the Day, you just pick the songs. You didn't go by the Billboard.
Yeah. I do sense a change as well. Now you seem like you've been...
A disturbance in the force?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're rewriting history, saying you've always done it like this, but you haven't.
I have.
No, you haven't. You haven't. I've been doing the show with you for how many years?
You just shut up.
Exactly, because he's right.
No, it's because he wouldn't let me do oboes.
You did do oboes, I thought.
I think we did.
It took months.
Wasn't Boeheim on or someone really notable?
Well, that was the point why I objected, because I was like, really? We're coming back with oboe songs?
I'll go back to the instrument of the day, and then you'll have to take that also.
Wait, so did we actually play oboes when Jim Boeheim was on?
Somebody was on.
Somebody important.
We did oboes, xylophones, whistling. We did a lot.
We did.
Songs with whistling was my favorite.
We did a topic every Friday where we'd pick like sunglasses.
Yes. Yeah. We also we need to bring back. It's getting to the point where we're talking about things like this a lot. We need to bring back starting fives.
Oh yeah,
for the Fridays.
That was fun. That was fun.
So we'll do that. Oh, Zamfir, master of the pan flute. He's a favorite of mine to talk about.
And then AI would tell us who had the better team of like condiments.
Yes, that's a fun thing.
That was fun.
Well, it's Memorial Day weekend. That's the official start of summer.
There you
Feels
go.
like the official start of starting five.
Why don't we do starting five instruments?
That'd be fun, actually. That's not your worst idea ever.
Put a tuba at the four. You know,
you're gonna be slow.
Yeah, he's powerful.
All right,
wait, we'll figure it out.
The oboe is going to be
underrated.
Right up there. Today's business is brought to you by Superior Plus Propane.
You get the oboe and then you build around him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's that good.
Centerpiece? I don't think an oboe is a centerpiece, but okay.
Yeah,
you go with that. You see how your team grades out.
Like I always said, if I ever had to start a basketball team with any player in history, I'd start with Magic Johnson. He would be my number one pick. He'd play almost any position. The oboe is also that versatile.
I look up at the TV and I see Wemby. We might be saying in a couple of years that, or might not even be a couple of years, might be present day that he's the guy.
Let's see if he stays healthy.
He is legitimately unguardable. Like, did you watch that game?
I watched it, and I thought you guys were excited about it, but I was in awe last night. And I know it's what we expect from him, but that three he hit, first off, I think they were saying it was a 28-footer. It almost felt like it was longer. It was from the same spot that Steph Curry hit that big three against the Thunder.
It depends how you want to look at it, because his feet were like 35 feet, but he was leaning forward and he's 7'4". So by the time he let the ball go, it was probably
regardless. It's a way too far of a three for a guy who's 7'4".
Yes.
Matt from Auburn also asked, "Have we had the Strong Museum of Play guy on that this year?"
No, it's a fall thing. It's I believe the Hall of Fame class
don't we get the nominations now? Though?
Maybe I don't, but I know that they announced the class in the fall.
Yeah.
So I'll look into that.
I think we double up on him.
Okay.
I think it's usually start of summer, and then we have him on when the winners are announced.
Okay. I'll look into that.
I do think that we're in a really good spot in the NBA where it feels like the Spurs and the Thunder are young. They have great stars. They're going to be around for a while, and they seem to really despise each other as well. Like, there seems to be some animosity there. There's a budding rivalry between Shea and Wemby, and Shea wins the MVP, and Wemby takes it personal, he says afterwards in the press conference. So, I don't know. I haven't been that in on the NBA the last 3, 4, 5 years, but this series, I think I'm going to be glued to the TV, the Western Conference Finals, for the entirety of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great series. And I thought going in. Well,
why don't we just do a baseball show?
Yeah, I would like that.
I thought going in, nobody's going to beat the Thunder. The Spurs are going to create some problems for the Thunder, and Wemby. They don't have anybody who can guard him. Obviously, I mean, they put Alex Caruso on him last night.
Yeah,
he is a problem, and as long as he stays healthy and doesn't get kicked out of a game for throwing an elbow, the Spurs got a really good shot. I still think the Thunder are the favorites for a reason, but the Spurs are going to give them some trouble.
All right, it's baseball season. Tatis broke his slump. Go.
Of what?
Didn't he hit a homer last night?
No.
Yeah, he did,
he
right?
He had a hard hit the home run.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw a tweet. It was like 45 days since Tatis hit a homer.
Yeah, it's still going.
Oh,
and
no.
Counting.
I thought he broke his slump, but what did you make of your Padres last night?
It was fun. It was a boring game, but it was fun for me.
It was fun, but it was boring.
It was fun for me. Like, it was the type of game that if you're not a baseball fan, you're like, this is why I don't watch baseball. There was nobody on base the whole game.
It was probably over in like 2 hours and 15 minutes, though, wasn't it?
It was over by midnight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was. But Padres are in first place. Shut up.
See, we can't even talk baseball. That's the problem.
I don't need him to say I'm rooting for them or I'm happy for you. Just shut up, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm thinking it, though.
Cavs and the Knicks tonight in the NBA playoffs, by the way.
So. Is that how you think? Steve, for those who's not watching, Steve made his thinking face.
I did. That was my thinking face.
He scrunched up his whole head.
I close my eyes, and I'm thinking positive thoughts about the Padres right now.
Oh, you got to do this.
I hope they win the division. I hope they win the World Series.
Well, now they're not. Now they're going to go on a skid. You've done this every year since we've started working together.
It's the kiss of death.
Yes.
I do want to say the Brendan Sorsby, he's the quarterback who transferred from Cincinnati to Texas Tech and was caught gambling on college sports. Right now, it came out yesterday that he is filing a lawsuit against the NCAA to expedite his reinstatement process. I am very fed up with the NCAA for all the same reasons that all our listeners are. And we talked about off the top that it's just we've lost control. You look at what LSU's trying to do, and it's just feels like the NCAA has no spine right now when it comes to any of this stuff. This one would really bug me, I think, if Sorsby is playing college football next year. I mean, we talked about this, Steve, when it happened. It's just black and white that he broke the rule that everyone knows about. And we've got to lay down the law at some point with some of this stuff.
Yeah, and I saw, part of the lawsuit says that, he's been ruled ineligible and that it's doing him irreparable harm, that he can't play. But again, he knew the rule. He broke the rule. Did you happen to see, I saw it in the USA Today, but I'm sure it's out there in other publications through the court documents, the list of the things that he bet on.
Yeah.
Did you see?
It's like 1,000 bets, right?
Yeah, Turkish basketball, Romanian soccer.
Sounds like our old producer.
He bet on doubles tennis matches. He bet on the hot dog eating contest. And again, I say that in that there are bigger things at play here than, whether or not, and I know that he's got a lot of money to lose if he doesn't play, but if he's got a problem, he's got to get some help. And B, he knew what the rule was. It's very black and white. There's no gray area here. It's if you bet, you will be ruled ineligible. And he did it, and he did it a lot. And this wasn't even like a one-time thing, like, I made a bad decision. Like, he knew what he was doing, and I'm with you, Tim. Like, it's harsh, but you got to learn, right? And your actions have consequences. And the consequence of this action, this repeated action, is you lose your college eligibility.
Yeah, and I think his lawyer is trying to make a case that there's a mental health component to it because it is an addiction that he's fighting, and he's trying to go and do rehab. And I'm not trying to make light of any of that, but you got to lay down some rules here at a certain point. We have to see some consequences, and
it's just like a parent raising a kid, right? If the kid keeps breaking the rule and you give him a slap on the wrist or say don't do it again, or if you do this, this is going to happen, and then the kid does this and then that doesn't happen, what does the kid think? The kid thinks he can do whatever he wants. So I don't know. It's part of life that when your actions have consequences. I just go back to that, and I just think it's sending the wrong message. Anyway, continue.
Speaking of the spineless NCAA, I feel like I'm the guy who on this show who can read this quote from
be careful there.
From Jeff Goodman.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Jeff Goodman, one top 20 head coach to the field of 68 on LSU's Will Wade. You're being an idiot a-hole for the sake of being an idiot a-hole. What you're doing is effing it up for everybody else.
Yeah.
I agree with that anonymous top 20 head coach.
Strong words.
Yeah, in the case of R.J. Lewis, the St. John's player who went into the NBA undrafted, now is committed to LSU, trying to come back and play college basketball. He made his bed. I mean, he made that decision. He turned down money from St. John's. It was a big public decision of should he go or not. I saw Jeff Goodman in another tweet today said, I remember talking to his dad and they understood that he might not get drafted and they were turning down millions, but they still made that call. Again, that was their decision. There's consequences to it. You don't just get to jump back into college years later or a year later.
Yeah, I'm with you on all that. And somebody's got to be able to hold firm on this. And I know that, these cases keep going to court, and then, these individual courts are making, one setting a precedent, but then the next court doesn't follow the same precedent. And it is lawless at the moment. And hopefully there will be some uniform regulations here moving forward.
Kicker time.
I got a couple. All right. Dateline America. I don't know where this is. Nick, one of our listeners, shared this with me, and now it's popping up everywhere. Pizza Hut franchisee is leaning into its nostalgia. He's bringing back the red roofs, Pac-Man games, salad bars, relaunching its 80s Book It thing. So the lights, the hangover lights, with the Pizza Hut on them. Bringing it all back, Steve, like it's 1985 again.
I could go for Pizza Hut salad buffet or salad bar right now.
I bet you like that.
Yeah, it was good.
It's kind of how I'm going with Sunny 102 in the music right now. The program which Gen X and millennials may remember, and it's just the Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
that the millennials and Gen X will remember.
It was good.
It's the 70s, 80s,
they got
90s.
It right. Those Pizza Huts
Those
got
were,
it right.
As people before us would say, the good old days.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
And then one sports one. I don't know how to say this guy's last name, but a tennis player, Corentin Moutet of France, pulled his pants down, his shorts down in frustration after losing a point in the middle of a match and during a verbal altercation with the umpires.
And?
He was docked a point.
That's it?
Yeah. He left his boxer briefs on, but he just legitimately pulled his pants down. It was a bizarre moment for everybody involved.
I guess so. Actions have consequences.
Yeah.
He received a warning.
Should have been more.
He just received a warning.
No point lost?
Yeah. Oddly, it's not the first time a tennis player has pulled down his pants on the court. Same thing happened in 2004, but this time it was a celebration where Marat Safin
I seem to remember that one.
Was celebrating.
That was by
and
accident.
Pulled his pants down.
Yeah, I think that was accidental.
Safin was assessed a 1-point penalty for his gesture.
There you go.
He wound up winning the match anyway.
I've got a quick kicker. We talked about the House of Play there, Strong Museum House of Play. So I don't know when this year's Hall of Fame class, the candidates are going to be announced, but I can tell you that the World Video Game Hall of Fame, which is housed there at the Strong Museum House of Play, Museum of Play in Rochester, the 2026 video game inductees have been announced.
Oh, let's go.
Angry Birds.
No, that's not a video game. That's an app.
Dragon Quest.
Boo.
FIFA International Soccer, which I could attest to. I played that all the time with the kids when they were growing up. Awesome game. And Silent Hill. I've never heard of that.
Never heard of that.
Other finalists that did not make the cut this year. Frogger, not in the Hall of Fame yet.
How is that not in the Hall of Fame
yet? I
don't
know. They were snubbed.
Frogs over birds.
League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these I've never heard of. Mega Man. Do you know what that is?
No.
Yeah, it's a game for Nintendo, the original Nintendo.
Okay.
I had it.
RuneScape. I don't know what that is.
Too.
Okay.
Yep.
The Elder Scrolls.
Don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the Frogger, that surprises me. Frogger's
Feels like RuneScape should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah? Feels like Frogger should have been in like the initial class, like Qbert.
Oh, Qbert. Loved Qbert.
Let's see who's in.
Angry Birds is an easy selection, I'd say.
No, it's a trash one. It's not a video game.
Why isn't it?
It's an app on the phone. You don't play video games on your phone.
But I'm sure you could buy Angry Birds for a console now, right? It started as an app.
It's an awful thing.
There's a generation gap there.
The Oregon Trail is in. Pong. Space Invaders, Asteroids, Pac-Man, Centipede, Defender, Donkey Kong. Flight Simulator. Oh, I used to love that. King's Quest, don't know that. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? We talk about that all the time. We used to play that.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest. Legend of Zelda.
But Dragon Quest was on your list, Steve.
It is. This is who's in overall. Sim City. John Madden Football. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Doom. That game gave me nightmares. Do you ever play Tetris, get in bed, and Tetris was still playing in your eyes?
Yeah, and you could hear the song over and over again.
Yeah, that was crazy stuff. StarCraft, Tomb Raider, Quake, Resident Evil, The Sims. Do you ever play The Sims?
Oh, yes.
I love The Sims.
Sims was great.
And World of Warcraft, Angry Birds, boo. Boo.
No Frogger, though. Maybe next year. Maybe next year for Frogger. All right, we're going to keep
Oregon
our eyes
Trail's
on.
a classic.
It is.
I wish I had dysentery some days doing this show.
When the actual Toy Hall of Fame candidates are announced, we'll make sure that we pass those along. We'll take a time out here. Are we just going to go one more segment, or are you going to go two more?
We'll just go
one more, yeah.
We'll go one more. All right, we'll wrap things up on the other side. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
I thought you were saying there were nominees. Those were already in.
Yeah.
The ones you were reading.
No, they were this year's class.
The first four I mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. Dragon Quest, Angry Birds. Yeah. I gotcha.
Paul, you're right about the age to have been setting He-Man figures on fire as a kid. You're goddamn right I was. Who's your favorite He-Man character, Steve? Ram Man?
Couldn't name one.
Lockjaw?
He-Man.
Prince Adam? Battle Cat?
Don't know the characters at all. Oh, Battle Cat. He was rode him. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Who is the magician? Arco?
Finalists are announced in mid-September. I was right. And then they're revealed in early November. So we will find out around the start of football season.
Was Steve allowed to play video games?
Yeah.
We had an Atari and Nintendo, ColecoVision. ColecoVision's the best gaming system ever. Oh, Trapjaw, Lockjaw, Trapjaw, same difference.
Yeah,
Ram Man had a little thing on his
Nintendo.
foot, and you hit him, and he popped up. Like
I didn't know He-Man very well.
Oh, Paperboy was a fun game. Yes, Ram Man was. I get your Ram Man joke, guys. That's funny. There was another guy who looked like a sea monster. I can't remember.
Don't
his
look at
name.
me. I don't.
He carried like what do the sea guys carry? Those one of those.
Trident.
Yeah, Trident. Good one.
Yep.
Nashville. It's going to host the Super Bowl in 2030.
Oh, that would be perfect. That's one of my favorite cities. Bills win it all. Nissan Stadium.
2030 is Josh Allen.
Let's go.
He'd be what, 30?
What is it? Yeah.
He's 35?
He's 28.
Oh, okay.
I think,
So
yeah, he's
less than that. Why do I think he was like 30?
20. He's 29. He just.
He had a birthday recently, right?
Oh no, I'm sorry. He's turning 30 on this May 20. So he's 2 days from now, Thursday.
Okay.
He's turning 30.
Who banged the drum last night for the Sabres?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I missed the beginning of the game because of work stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't get off to a good start.
Let's see.
I saw at one point a tweet on my feed that was like, it was making fun of Josh Allen when he banged, what was it, game 2? It was like, of course they lost when Josh Allen did this. And then I was like, oh, did they bring him back to do it again? But
Sabres legend Rob Ray.
Okay.
Who sang the national anthem? Because they were saying there was going to be a special guest.
The national anthem I saw, but I can't remember now.
Doug Allen.
Yeah.
So, what do you want? You want to talk up to 52?
Sure. What was your favorite sports video game? Sega Hockey. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was good.
We used to play that in college.
Madden the original Tecmo Bowl was awesome. Double Dribble was like game changing when that dunk screen
You guys
came
play
out.
like NBA Jam or
Yeah.
Yep.
What about Backyard Baseball? Was that no?
I'm not familiar with that one.
I had this street ball game. Why is half my hair missing? I look like I have a half mohawk, Ryan. In Your Eyes, Steve. This is the song I played. Do you remember it like it was yesterday?
I do.
When I asked you to be my co-host.
I was like anybody but him, and then you played this, and I was like, well, maybe we'll give him a shot. He's not so bad.
Is that like one of the most iconic scenes of the 80s?
Yes.
I'd put that, Bender at the end of Breakfast Club, when he pumps his fist, and you're not going to like this one, Steve, but Phoebe Cates getting out of the swimming pool in Fast Times at Ridgemont High changed my life.
Changed your life.
Yeah. It was a life-changing moment.
E.T.
You didn't like E.T.
I didn't, but you said iconic moments.
Ouch. I mean, E.T. legitimately made Reese's Pieces.
Right.
Popular.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We were just talking about the best sports video games. YouTube chat's got Blades of Steel. That was a fun one. Bases Loaded. RBI Baseball, I played that a lot. NHL was awesome on Sega. What is that, 96?
Sounds about right.
NBA Jam. Tecmo Bowl was fun. The only thing with Tecmo Bowl was that there were certain players like Bo Jackson that you couldn't stop. Right?
You know, you bring up Bo Jackson. I happened to be last night before I went to bed. The 30 for 30 on Bo Jackson was on, and I got sucked in for like, I don't know. I've seen it before, but I got sucked in for like 20 minutes. He was, we talk about Wemby being like one of a kind. Like what Bo Jackson did was just absurd. I mean, I think he really was one of the greatest athletes of all time, but we'll never like truly know, you know what I mean? Just because of his injuries and whatnot. But what he did was incredible.
Someone just said the scene in Porky's also, Steve, was iconic with the hole in the shower.
Never saw that movie.
Yeah,
so.
You probably weren't allowed to see Porky's. That wasn't playing in the Infani household.
You seem like a big 30 for 30 guy, Steve.
Love 30 for 30.
Do you have a top 5?
My favorite one is the one on Chris Herron.
Unguarded.
Unguarded. Do you consider the Jimmy V one? Is that a 30 for 30? That was one of the original ones. I don't know if that's technically a 30 for 30. But
I think the Fab Five is not technically, but correct, I really like that one.
The one on the Big East was awesome. I mean, those are my top 3: the Jimmy V one, the Big East one, and Unguarded.
I like the Mike and the Mad Dog one too.
That was good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all good.
Like people say, we don't like each other. There was points where those guys hated each other.
They did not like each other. They did not like each other at all.
Yeah, the Big East one's good. And finally, guys, your last Peter Gabriel song is Sledgehammer.
Great video.
Yeah, it could cause seizures, though. You remember that? They warned you?
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that. Don't watch that video. It's going to give you a seizure.
I think they had a disclaimer before Thriller as well, didn't they? Similar thing?
That they definitely did before. I think the Wang Chung, Everybody Have Fun Tonight.
Careful. Don't say anything mean about Wang Chung. They might be listening.
That's right.
Might be listening.
Did you play Salisbury Hill?
I don't know. I don't remember.
See, he follows the most famous songs, but
I think I did.
I think I
played games without Frontiers, Salisbury Hill. Dig It in the Dirt.
Maybe you did. I might have missed it.
All right. Paula Abdul, Alice Cooper, Cher, Bare Naked Ladies, Bee Gees, Foo Fighters, Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes, Foo Fighters, Bee Gees, Bare Naked Ladies, Cher, Alice Cooper, Paula Abdul. I'm going to go Bare Naked Ladies.
Kind of like Bare Naked Ladies, too. I think I'm going to go Foo Fighters, though.
All right.
Man, I usually vote for the Bee Gees when they're on the list, but today I'm going to go Paula Abdul.
You know, Steve.
You had a poster
of her above my bed.
Yeah, I remember this.
Creep. Just a total creep for Paula Abdul.
So we'll leave it up to
I don't know her address, but I was pretty creepy for her. So we'll go Paula Abdul, Bare Naked Ladies, Foo Fighters. Next one under Jen. It is the Foo Fighters.
Let's
Thanks
go.
to Michael Antonio.
Okay, there you go.
Ooh, the English Beat. That would be a good one.
Tim, what do you got coming up tonight?
Well, we'll see. I feel like Syracuse basketball is close to adding another player, so maybe we'll have some news by drive time. And if not, I'll be talking a lot of lacrosse, of course, and have a Top 5 Tuesday to do, so we'll dive into the lacrosse matchup some more.
The wait will be ever long, but the show will be worth it. Hopefully they sign a player for you so they don't throw a monkey wrench into your show today. And I hope that our audience gets the best of you.
All right. With that, we're done. For Tim, for Paulie, I'm Steve. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again at noon tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day.